Singer Willy Paul is arguably one of the most controversial singers in the Kenyan music scene.
Love this next guy. He has taken Kenya and I think the world by storm with his latest hit, collaborating with Elaine. It is I Do. Please everybody welcome gospel singer Willy Paul.
Yo, what's up? M-Pesa Till, Groove what?
One would describe him as someone who has built his flourishing music career through controversy and speculations.
So wewe unatry kunipull down, itakusaidia na nini?
You have the audacity to call out my name and say that you slept with me for what?
His real name, Wilson Abubakar Radido, the CEO and founder of Salido International Entertainment.
This is size 8 Reborn and I am at Salido Records, record label ya Willy Paul, ama recording studio ya Willy Paul, and I've gone round and I've seen excellence. I've seen the work of God.
He first gained recognition after recording the song Rabuka and later Sitolia with Muliro, which was an object of controversy after several claims by Willy that he was not earning much from the song because Muliro allegedly owned exclusive copyrights to the song. They settled their differences and recorded another hit song, Kitanzi. In 2012, he was nominated for the Kisima Music Awards Male Artist of the Year, managed by David Gray. Disclaimer, before I proceed, my voice sounds a bit different. It's because of some common flu I'm having. There's a flu I'm having right now. That's why it sounds this way. Let's proceed. His first album, You Never Know, was launched on 5th December 2013 in a ceremony at KCC, graced by Daddy Owen, Ben Githai, Gloria Muliro, DK Kwenye Beat, Ben Bahhati, Men of God or MOG, Size 8, Mr. Seed, among others. He toured the US in 2014, performing in churches in 12 states. The tour began on 10th March in Sacramento, California. He performed alongside artist Poliodot at the House of Glory Church. He then headed to Neema Gospel Church in Dallas, Texas, and on 15th March performed at St. Louisiana, Missouri. On 29th and 30th March, Willy ministered to the audience at Neema Community Church in Overland Park, Kansas. He concluded his tour on 27th April in Las Vegas, Nevada.
So Paul, welcome back to Kenya.
Shukuru, thanks.
How long your visit ya state tour?
2 months, but karibu nimalize 3 months, but niko hapa sasa.
Okay, ilikuwaje generally, ilikuwaje to you?
Everything went just perfect. Okay. I thank the Almighty God for everything.
All right.
Yeah, you know our God is a God of promises and as He fulfills His promises.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many shows?
Like a lot, because I've been in 12 states.
12 states. Unafanya an average of 1 show per state ama 2 maybe, so
1 or 2.
So zinaweza kwa 30, about more than 30 shows.
Yeah, like more than 30.
Okay. Willy Paul beat Bahhati with his Tam Tam song featuring Size 8 and managed to win 2 Mdundo Awards, Most Downloaded Gospel Artist and Most Downloaded Male Single. He won 4 nominations for the awards with Tam Tam, a collaboration with Size 8 released in 2014. Granting him Collabo of the Year, Video of the Year, Song of the Year, and Male Artist of the Year.
Praise God. Praise God again. Yani from nothing to something ndo state niko. God ni great. Ukweli uongo. Ukweli uongo. Bwana Yesu asifiwe. Nasema leo umelemewa, lakini kesho you never know. Nasema leo umekosa mulo, lakini kesho you never know.
We've seen Willy Paul release new music as well as unleash a string of controversial stance that left people wondering if he's still a gospel artist or just masquerading. From begging for nudes to the pregnancy scandal, this is a list of scandals following Willy Paul. Number 1, abortion threat. This was a widely publicized story that involved a young lady by the name Layla. She claimed to have been dating Willy Paul for a while until their boat started spiraling. Willy Paul allegedly started acting weird after realizing that Scarlett, as she was fondly known among her friends, was pregnant and distance himself from her. That's when she decided to teach him a lesson by exposing him. This was back in September of 2015. Before things went from bad to worse, according to Layla, they were in love and shared many special moments together and would also constantly communicate either via WhatsApp or via text. According to Layla, the relationship took a sexual angle, a fact she felt brought them closer together. But before long, she discovered that she was pregnant. That was when Willy Paul, according to Layla, that is, became cold and distant. He wanted nothing to do with the child or their alleged love child. This devastated Layla. According to Layla, the first thing that started happening is that Willy Paul became abusive. He beat her up even with full knowledge that she was expectant. She claims this broke her heart more than any rejection ever could. When Willy Paul reached out for response on the matter, he said, acha tu niseme no comment, but si unajua mtu akitafuta kitu akose kuipata atakuchafulia jina, waambie watafakari hayo. Number 2, begging for nudes. This was an interesting one. It came barely a month after abortion scandal. An audio was quoted, send me a video of your baby, I wanna see you touching it. The lady initially sought anonymity but later came out on camera to address the issue at hand.
I'll see. I'll try. Sasa nilikuwa unajua mtu afanyange hivyo haraka.
Sasa uende tu uanze sasa. Uanze kurekodi bikam.
Haya.
Sawa. Sawa. 15 minutes.
We, nakula.
15 minutes. So, uwezi acha food na napongelesha.
Si nimeacha nikatoka nje.
15 minutes.
Weye.
Ukiniambia wewe tena utoe namba yangu nikikupigia.
Okay. Sawa, lakini si
15 minutes.
Si 15.
Check mtani bo, hata nikwambie niko na roho dogo. Naweza kuwa niko into you. Then uniambie tu kitu inanikinya na nitoe. Sio tusiwezi baby.
Najua unaweza.
Ni jaribu uone sawa.
Sawa.
15 minutes, umesikia?
Sawa.
A few days later, after allegedly sending Willy Paul her nude pictures, Salma's naked photos were doing rounds on social media. When she was asked who she thinks could have leaked the photos, the 21-year-old girl said she suspected Willy Paul might have been behind it all. Number 3, stealing music. This is when singer Bahhati wrote an emotional letter begging the controversial singer to stop stealing his music. He called out Willy for not answering his calls or texts and for taking his kindness for weakness. Bahhati went ahead to write a lengthy letter to Willy Paul accusing him of stealing several of his songs, going ahead to give examples. And I'll quote, Dear Willy Paul, bro, just chose to write it here because after all you've been doing to me, you don't answer my calls same time, being arrogant to me on your text. But one of the greatest virtues my mom ever left me with is a virtue of respect and humility. First, I respect anyone who came into the music ministry ahead of me, and that's why I respect your position in the industry. Remembering we came 3 years before Kenya had my name. But bro, it seems you're taking my kindness for weakness. Just because Bahhati is known by Kenyans as a soft-spoken, ati nimpole hataongea, I agree, but it's just because God had not given me a go-ahead. I try my best nikunyamazie just to let God lead my path. You have tried many times to create a beef between us because you're always looking for a scandal. But do you know why I have never answered anything about you, bro? First, because I'm not called for fame. This God's given and God can take it from me anytime He wants. So I try to humble that He may receive the glory. Second, I recorded a song with the producer Teddy B. You went, listened, and undercover you recorded the same song, same message, same producer, even shamelessly same title, Mapenzi. Remember, you've stolen 2 songs already but kept quiet. Now you're going to every producer who has my unreleased songs, bribing them you get my songs that Kenya has not even heard. Already you've stolen my next new song that I'm supposed to release, Maria, from Still Alive Studios, and re-recorded it with a different title, Salima. And as if that's not enough, Willy Paul was caught in yet another song stealing scandal. 2 of the top Kenyan acts in Kenya have been caught beat-jacking in the most shameless of ways. Willy Paul and Calligraph Jones has been accused of stealing Bora Uhai, a single they released 2 days ago. They are accusers are an upcoming group of artists called Freelancers, students at Kenyatta University. Freelancers released a song called Borrow High 2 weeks ago. The students also revealed that Willy Paul had told them that they can do nothing about it. He also threatened to sue them for defamation. Haha, vijana, you don't know who you are dealing with. I will sue you for defamation. Furthermore, I am Pose. I run this. Yes, I sample your track, mtafanya. But wait, just when you thought Willy is the only one accused of stealing songs,
shut up and bend over. So shut up and hold me, baby. Anachukua, anaweka, wa. Anakuchukua, anakuweka. Number one, you're my number one. My woman, yenifikire. Yesinani, anakuchaka na nani kwa nani. Nasikijaga na mpega nini kwa nini. Sini nani, na yule nani. Alafu nani, akaambia nani. Weka mati niteleze, kama nyoka pangoni. Weka mate, niteleze baby, kisha niweke mpangoni. Jaja, yo pati jaja, jaja, yo pati jaja. Kata, kata, baka kwa tikita, yere baby kata. You make my heart go ting-a-ling-a-ling. You make my heart go ting-a-ling-a-ling. Walai.
how wrong you are. Fast forward to 2019, Willy Paul himself comes out to accuse others of stealing his music. In a headline, Willy Paul is accused Wasafi artist and head songwriter Rivalry of jacking his song Chuchuma after their collaboration fell through. Willy Paul in a video message said, "It is so sad that he is trying to steal from me just because the collabo did not work out." Okay, what's up people? I would like to bring this to the attention of people. Rivalry is trying to steal from a Kenyan, yet all along Kenyans have supported their music. I have gotten support from his country as well. Someone is stealing my idea. It is so painful. You cannot do that to a brother. You cannot steal and get away with it. Sometimes in 2021, there was a beef brewing between a Kenyan and Tanzanian artist where Willy Paul was locking horns with Wasafi Records CEO Diamond Platnumz over 2 song releases, with one accusing the other of stealing from him. If you remember, let us know down in the comment section which 2 songs these were. Number 4, making fun of Bahhati. After being accused of stealing Bahhati's music, Willy went on to mock poor Bahhati at a concert. He imitated him, in the process passing the message that he's not a thief. Seemingly in response, a video surfaced on social media showing Willy Paul mockingly sing one of Bahhati's songs. The director behind the viral video, which shows gospel singer Willy Paul mocking his fellow singer Bahhati, however, came out to distance himself from any malicious intentions. I will quote, "I was part of the crew that shot Kitanzi of Willy Paul and Gloria. It was fun with a lot of jokes. During the shoot, Willy Paul had a lot of jokes, and one of the jokes was singing Bahhati's song Achos. Bahhati saw it and he never had a problem with it, as it was not shot with bad intention." Following the tussle between the 2 artists, blows were almost exchanged at 2015 All Gospel Groove Awards nominees party held when a pastor attempted to reconcile Bahhati and Willy Paul. The pastor had called the 2 musicians and tried to make them make up at the event held at the Nairobi Arboretum grounds. "What is this you are doing, pastor?" asked a bewildered Bahhati when he got on stage. "I'm not willing to do this in this forum."
Hey, watu wangu, hebu check those hands. Thank you guys. Let's do big time, man. Thank you. I love you guys. I honor you guys. Hata mimi nipatie hug mzee. You may go and sit. Oh, you want to say something? Yes.
nimeokoka nini mbaya. Basi amenishika.
Ongea kama mimi nitaongea kama wewe.
I'm begging everyone mwenye ako na kamera usiupload hii picha sababu wamenishika kama niko kwa njia. Alafu niambia nakuja, angalia bado unaniambia.
Bro, tulikuwa na haya somo, kwa nini unataka?
Si ati nakaanga hivi.
As tension mounted, comedians MC Jesse and Dr. Foneke ran on stage and saved the day by making the entire situation look like a joke. The party had earlier been mad with controversy as artists made crude jokes over claims that Willy Paul had stolen Bahhati's songs. It all started when act Abel Mutua went on stage with a padlock. "If you don't want your music to be stolen, please lock them using this padlock from one production house to the other," said Abel. When Daddy Owen went on stage to present nominations in all of the categories, he went all out and named names. "I'm here to present the nominees in this category, but there is no point because as usual, Willy Paul has already stolen the list and he knows the names," said Owen. This sounded as a joke, but looking at Willy Paul's reaction, it didn't go down well. Later on during the show, more artists continued to mock Willy Paul, including comedian MC Jesse. Sex stimulant overdose. In November 2018, reports say that the controversial gospel singer had been hospitalized after he took an overdose of Spedra, a sex stimulant that was said to be stronger than Viagra. The singer, however, came out to strongly deny the reports, saying that people had decided to tarnish his name using irrelevant things. In a video uploaded on Instagram, Pose said that he was well and called on his fans and the general public not to fall for fake news.
Hey, Kevo. Nasikia wanasema niko hospitali ati nimetumia dawa za sex. Honestly, hata kama kuna hate, I don't think inafaa kufika hiyo point. But unajua kitu God amesema, God akisema yes, hawezi sema no. No yako ni haina power, unajua. So wewe mwenye amenieka hosi Parklands ni nani by the way? Juu nasikia nilikuwa juu ya mtu. Shame on you nigga. Shame on you manze. Unasikia? That was so lame. Akitafuta njia ingine cause Pose is here to stay. Utangoja usikie nimeadmitiwa but wapi? Shame on you na nisikupate cause itakuwa fire manze. Unajua? We are going to acha niachie tu hapo cause I think mazoeano imefika mbali sana. Hey, unajua watu wananitext wananiambia, "Hey bro, are you okay? Are you okay? Tunasikia umeadmitiwa." You will see fire.
Willy Paul was once again on the spot after two of his female dancers died in less than 2 weeks. Rumors spread around saying that the Salido Records boss had sacrificed the dancers to be able to grow his music career. In a statement, Willy Paul said that the death of his 2 dancers was the most painful season in his music career and his whole life. He also addressed devil-worshipping claims, stating that the things that were being said online were only propaganda to smear his name. He was again on the receiving end after a video of him hitting a woman went viral. The video, recorded by onlooking neighbors, and irritated Willy Paul fought off security guards who had blocked him from getting to the lady before he snatched her phone and smashed it on the ground. He later on said it was one of the scenes in his upcoming reality TV show that involved money and drama.
Sana na manos kwanza Kenya wamelegalize. Haya. Hai, apigwe ndio.
Willy Paul has also been accused of taking alcohol, something he's always denied doing. At one time, reports say that he was seen staggering out of Thika Road Mall in the company of female friends. And lastly, dancing with club girls. Sometime in 2019, Willy Paul was trending top of the chart after videos of ladies erotically grinding on him during his performance at Club Wakanda made their way online. The gospel singer, a title he has since shed off, had organized a masquerade party at Club Wakanda, which also doubled up as a meet and greet with his fans. However, things got heated when some of the ladies at the club joined him during his performance and sensually danced and rubbed up against him at the club. Wednesday, 5th June 2019, controversial Kenyan gospel artist Willy Paul takes to his Instagram page to announce that he won't be turning back from a decision that he had made. Although he did not exactly mention whether he was referring to his career in the gospel world, one could not help but wonder if that was the big decision. I will quote, "No turning back. I want to see my diehard supporting this motion. Do what you feel and think is right." End of quote. The announcement of the new decision came at a time when he was under extreme criticism for not living the lifestyle of a gospel artist. Apparently, a section of the netizens believed Willy Paul had gone a little bit too far while performing with Tanzanian songstress Nandi at the Choma na Ngoma concert. The two artists got raunchy and erotic while performing some of the songs that they had collaborated on. This was one of the most intense controversies and criticism to have ever surrounded Willy Paul as a gospel artist. In fact, rumors of Willy Paul quitting gospel for secular music had begun a while back in April of 2017 when he told friends that he was about to quit gospel music industry for secular. He stated that he was completely bored with gospel music, which he termed not paying and for struggling musicians, and that he wants to follow his heart. "I'll soon make a decision. Sooner than you expect. Mapenzi will be my first secular song," he revealed. This came from an artist who joined the industry a broke boy and through support from fans and Kenyans who were always sympathetic under name and money. In March of 2017, Willy Paul released a song with Jamaican musician Alain. The song, "I Do," which was believed to be secular, since became a hit in East Africa. The popularity of this particular song formed the basis of Willy Paul's argument that secular is much better than gospel, and so he'll therefore quit gospel. And sure enough, about 2 years later, he went full-blown secular. Later on, in July of 2020, Willy Paul came forth to explain why he quit the gospel music industry. In an interview with comedian Jalango, the controversial singer said that he was fed up with his fellow artists being against his work and always wanting to see him fail. According to him, exiting the gospel scene does not block his blessings from God, as the same God that blesses other secular artists is the same God that comes through for dedicated gospel artists as well. These guys were so against me that they protested against my music being played on several radio stations, like 2 or 3 of them. There was a time I was solely depending on music for survival, to cater to my mom's bills and mine. But these people were so heartless, they didn't care, he said. In June of 2021, he came forth again to explain why he quit the gospel music industry. On his Instagram page, he made a lengthy post stating that he chose to ditch gospel music due to the overwhelming hatred he faced in the world of gospel.
Right, so there's a lot of controversy about artists being kicked out of the awards because of quote-unquote ungodly lifestyles. Talk to us about that. First of all, is it true that Bahhati and Willy Paul were kicked out of the awards? All right.
So one, nobody was kicked out. Okay. What happens is we have an academy that is formed of, DJs, radio presenters, producers, who come and tell us, look, in 2015, these are the guys who, were kicking it,
right,
in the gospel music industry.
So you mean to say that Bahhati and Willy Paul specifically, because those are the ones who, the story surrounds them, were not first of all nominated for the awards?
Well, Bahhati and Willy Paul and thousands of other gospel artists in Kenya did not make it to the nomination list for.
He went ahead to say that he was a hypocrite in the gospel industry and desired to return to his true self. He said that frustration became part of his life. DJs and his musical counterparts would refuse to give him airplay over claims that his music wasn't good enough. He further stated that he was driven into depression due to constantly being belittled, got to a point where he became incapable of taking care of his needs. the epitome of scandals. The year 2021 saw a great revolution in Willy Paul's scandals and controversies. In Feb 2021, an upcoming reggaeton artist decided to open the street by dragging singer Willy Paul on social media. The lady, whose name is withheld, claimed the gospel musician impregnated her and left her hanging.
Willy Paul tumemit na yeye na hatujaanza kulana juzi ama Disemba. Tunaweza kulana kitambo. Okay, natumia jina gani? Akikati hiyo dini ya kulana.
I will quote, "So I have pregnancy for Willy Paul since December and he promised he will take responsibilities of his baby and I agreed to keep a secret, but since he started ignoring me, he asked for sex for the second time and I refused. So he told me not to ever look for him. He has blocked me." End of quote. According to the reggaeton musician, Pose started ignoring her when she denied him relations for the second time. The lady claimed she realized she was pregnant in December and decided to keep it under wraps.
So kama umeitwa so what? Plans zenye ulikuwa nazo so what? Ujanijibu. Pengine haiwezi. So kama haiwezi saa hiyo sasa. Inaweza ama haiwezi?
Anasema ni sawa tu kama haiwezi.
Ati?
Kama haiwezi nasema ni sawa tu standard.
So umekataa kukam?
Jadi nimesha request hadi Uber.
Unakuja ama ukuji?
Leo hizi make.
Sawa. The artist, who even shared a video of herself showing off her baby bump, revealed that she was forced to come out and expose the artist because he dumped her.
Oh, Willy Paul okay, first kupatana ilikuwa video shoot, but hatuku negotiate.
Not that meeting. I mean, when did you start talking?
Oh, ilikuwa by November hapo. Mara ya tatu sasa kupatana niyo, yote mwenye ananiambia, so unakuja ama ukuji? Hiyo party ni hard, but ni sawa tu itabidi. Tukamit tao. And then ndio mambo ika happen.
Willy Paul anaonekana kuna mistari mara mbili tu.
Juali ni block ongea na mimi, aliniambia nisiwahi mtafuta na vitu kama hizo.
So that was after ulimwambia umekuwa na boy yake.
Tulikuwa nishamwambia before. Akaniambia ni mambo na kutoa, but mimi ni hard kwangu kutoa ball by this. So okay, ningetoa yes, but ni hard.
August 2021, an upcoming artist and then signee of Willy Paul's record label, Miss P, came out to share her ordeal since signing with him. Miss P, while speaking in an interview on YouTube, said Willy Paul sexually assaulted her several times as soon as she started her studio sessions with him.
So he forced me to have sex with him. Not once, not twice. I had to tell my mom because I had to get medical attention, you know. I don't know this person's tabia zake, so I had to seek help, and my mom was the first person that came to my mind, so she helped me, alhamdulillah. Otherwise at this very moment ningekuwa tayari nishajifungua ama niko 9 months pregnant with this child.
So it doesn't protect.
So what?
It doesn't protect your sex.
Of course. Okay. Yeah, he forced me to have sex with him na alikata kutumia protection.
Miss P says although her mom came to her rescue, things went back as if nothing had happened after Willy Paul visited the family. I'll quote, "At that point, I was battling with thoughts whether to go back to the record label or not. Willy Paul later came home to talk to my mom and later things went on as nothing had happened." End of quote.
He made the point to come mpaka kwetu kumwongelesha mamangu. Mimi sijui waliongea nini, alafu from whatever they talked about, things went on like nothing happened, and I was like, umempa mamangu nini, you know, like umemwambia nini ndo vitu zisonge, like nothing has happened.
4 months later, Willy Paul continued with his advances, but Miss P insisted she cannot mix business and pleasure. The two have recorded several songs, among them Liar, Mashallah, and Fall in Love. Singer Willy Paul, however, threatened to sue the former Salido signee, Miss P, over the allegations. Through his lawyers, Willy Paul demanded that the songstress apologizes. I'll quote, "It is evident that our client is a musician in the Kenyan music industry, known locally and internationally, and has suffered injury on the their reputation and continue to do so as long as you continue to make the false claims. That's end of quote. Responding to the accusations on Instagram, Willy Paul then shared a message alleging that Miss P was interested in a love affair and got angry after Willy Paul refused her advances. I'll quote, "I'd like to let everyone know that this is a made-up story. This is a lady who is deeply in love with me and is acting out of anger. We had our moments, but when she realized I couldn't give back the same love, she made up a story that has really done a lot of damage to my good and clean brand." End of quote. December 2021, Diana Marwa, content creator and wife to singer Bahhati, released a bombshell in an emotional and tearful video accusing musician Willy Paul of attempting to rape her years ago. Taking to her official YouTube channel, Diana Bahhati, the mother of two, recalled how the musician almost took advantage of her 3 years ago. Tearful and overpowered by emotions, Diana fought tears while recalling how Willy Paul was touchy and all over her even after she turned down his sexual advances. According to Diana, Willy Paul had been chasing clout by peddling rumors online that he had slept with her.
How do you go to an extent of disrespecting a woman this much? You have the audacity to call out my name and say that you slept with me for what? Why are you lying to the public? What kind of a man are you? He came on top of me, he started pulling my skirt and he started.
I'll quote, "I'm still in shock and disbelief that someone would go to any extent to clout chase using my name. You drag me to your nonsense so that you can get people to listen to you, to watch your music because things are not working for you." End of quote. Diana claimed that Willy Paul had lured her into his car and drove off to his place. She said that upon reaching the destination, she developed cold feet and refused to alight from the car, demanding to be returned home. She further said that her insistence that she be returned home infuriated the artist, who then proceeded to force himself on her. Diana tearfully narrated how she fought off Willy Paul and screamed to raise an alarm. Willy Paul, however, rubbished Diana's claims, saying that they met and proceeded to his place with her consent. He added that she spent the night at his place and was not sexually abused as she purports.
So wewe unatry kunipull down itakusaidia na nini? Ambia bwanako ukweli, stop beating around the. Kama nadanganya mbele ya mama yangu na watoto wangu, kitu ifanyike aiswe. Mimi ni mtoi wa mtu tu kama wewe. Wewe ni mtoi wa mtu, mimi ni mtoi wa mtu. Yani that's a big lie. Mimi sijaile mtu. That is a big lie. Tell your husband the truth. Mwambie ulilala kwangu na kitu li happen. Bado nashangaa vile umeweza tu kulia na unalia uongo. This is so unfair. Na nimeswear, nimeapa na jina ya mamangu na watoi wangu wote. Mimi sijawahi attempt kukurepe wewe.
In December 31st of that same year, content creator Diana Marwa appeared to have deleted the video. The move came days after Nairobi court ordered her to pull down the video pending hearing and determination of a suit filed by Willy Paul. I'll quote, "The accusations labeled against me have caused me untold suffering, financial loss, and my dignity as a father. The politics in the industry are dirty, and it hurts me because it's from people I regarded as a family," explained Willy Paul via a statement on social media. Willy Paul said his health had deteriorated and it also suffered financial losses as a result of the incriminatory video. About 2 years later, in April 2023, Miss P, who had initially accused Willy Paul, came out to offer an apology. She claimed that she was now regretting accusing her former boss of sexually assaulting her. In an interview, the artist says that she made allegations out of impulse and was going through a tough period at the time she spoke out. I'll quote, "I did the interview out of impulse. At that time, I was not okay psychologically. Just after I did the interview, I was like, what did I just do? It was not the best choice I made in my life." Me doing that interview was an impulsive reaction. I felt bitter, angry, and so many other things. My emotions were all over the place. I was just overwhelmed at the time, and I was also not okay mentally and psychologically. You know, we had history, things happened, many things that we both are not proud of, but it has been 2 years and it's not good to carry grudges. It's exhausting. End of quote. Willy Paul later responded to the apology. In a statement, Willy Paul claimed that he had been misjudged for over 2 years due to the accusations and was not sure whether to forgive the songbird or not. I'll quote, "There's always light at the end of the tunnel. The truth always comes out, no matter how long it takes. It's been 2 years of misjudgment from the public eye. I don't know whether to forgive her or End of quote. In a subsequent Instagram post, Pose said he had chosen to forgive Miss P, noting that he had nothing to lose by not settling the issue and was bound to have more peace by forgiving her. I'll quote, "Being a good man that I've always been, the good man that most people fail to see the good in, I have decided to forgive this beautiful soul. I know it cost me a lot, but if God can forgive, then who am I not to? If you truly understand the word of God, then you'll understand that there is even more peace in forgiveness." End of quote, noting he was holding no grudge. Willy Paul added that doors were open for both of them to work together. However, one is left to wonder, could all these have been just but long scripted stunt? Why would I say this? On 18th of April 2023, Miss P comes forth to offer an apology. 19th of April 2023, Willy Paul accepts the apology and forgives her. Then boom, on 28th of April this same year, the two release a song dubbed Popo on Willy Paul's YouTube channel, The Timelines. Something could just be fishy, right? This also came just a month after the songstress had announced quitting music and ending her music career. She had even deleted her social media platforms, claiming she needed a private life. I'll quote, "I just realized the attention of being a celebrity is not my thing. It was so much overwhelming because there is so much pressure." End of quote. She also divulged that she quit music because she's a staunch believer in Christ. She believes being in a secular music industry will ruin her chances of going to heaven. I'll quote, "Another reason why I quit music is that I'm a believer in Christ and have been in salvation. Something came over me, and the moment I deleted my social media accounts, I found peace. I feel we are living in the end times, and I would not want Jesus to find me doing things that are contrary to God's will." End of quote. All these claims, then boom, a month later, a song with her former boss, Willy Paul. Prior to their song release and after their supposed reconciliation, Willy Paul took to his Instagram account, sharing a series of photos featuring himself and Miss P, showcasing their newfound love and even tagging her in the post. Even after the song's release, Willy consistently affirmed that he was in a relationship with Miss P, reinforcing their commitment to each other. I'll quote, "When you find a supportive partner, things just flow," Willy Paul captioned in one of his photos with Miss P. Despite parading their love online and assuring their fans that everything was okay between them, Willy Paul on July 2nd announced that he had broken up with Miss P. I'll quote, "Ladies, since Miss P and myself are no longer together, I highly encourage you to shoot your shot now. The list is long. Remember, time waits for no lady." This breakup saga could as well be simply a tactic for promotion. This tactic involves creating a sense of intrigue and drama by hinting at a potential separation or relationship issue, which can attract attention and generate a buzz around his songs. Miss P never commented on the breakup on her social media accounts, despite many people reacting to Willy Paul's statement about their separation. Well, my guess is, being a master of controversies and scandals, this could be nothing other than just one of his PR stunts, meaning there might have never been a love relationship between the two of them in the first place. And so, what does the present and future hold for singer Willy Paul? About 2 months ago, in September of this year, 2023, Willy Paul made a statement claiming that the Kenyan music industry is nothing without him. This was after about 2 months of not releasing back-to-back music. He claimed that Kenyan music stagnated after he stopped releasing music. Apologizing to his fans on social media, the Salido Records founder explained that he intentionally stopped making music to prove to his fans and fellow musicians that his input plays a huge role in pushing the Kenyan music industry. I'll quote, "I'm sorry fam, I know I've disappointed most of you by not releasing any music. Anyway, I did all that on purpose to show all of you how the industry is BS without my input. Some will differ with me, but majority will take my side. Musicians have tried releasing content, but wapi." End of quote. The singer advised that artists should start making music in English, explaining that it's the only thing blocking them from breaking international. I'll quote, "My advice to all Kenyan musicians, please normalize singing in English. That's the only thing blocking us from being global. I know wasanii na kizungu ni maji na stima. Hamjui, but just try, na mkishindwa call my PA mpate msaada bila malipo. One love fam. End of quote. This was after he had gone online in a series of posts on his YouTube channel and asked his fans where he should take his music to. This seems to be the place he got his inspiration on English songs from. Shortly after, he went ahead to release a song with the acclaimed English taste. And the song was a straight massive hit globally with millions of views, right? Right? Oh, sorry, I'm wrong. Or maybe Willy Paul was wrong with the English narrative. The song, dubbed original, is yet to fully surpass the 500,000 mark of views on YouTube, even after more than 2 months of release.
My baby's so original, not photocopy. Even the elders, all of them are copy. My baby's so original, not photocopy. All the somebodies and somebody's a copy. Baby's only she done.
Could this be the reason why Willy Paul has not released any other song after this one that seemingly struggled to garner views even after trying to go global with an English composition? I know right now I might sound like a hater, but truth is, the last time Willy Paul's music hit 1 million views on YouTube was more than 6 months ago. Interestingly enough, it was the collab with Miss P, the Popo song. Okay, now let's have this discussion. What is the problem with Willy Paul's music? The problem with Willy Paul's music. You may not see this, but there are certain problems with Willy Paul's music. This is a man who has continuously built his life and career around scandals and controversies. For a better part of his song releases, clout has been a key factor for promotion. Secondly, there's a problem with Willy Paul's sound. A keen ear on his music will reveal that the singer sounds almost the same in most of his songs, flow-wise and beat-wise. Take for instance a song like Toto, one of the best Willy Paul's production, both audio and visual, in my opinion. Listen Now, go to a song like Tamu Walai. Listen to it. Wait until the hook and the chorus play. You can literally fail to differentiate the two songs. They sound simply the same, the beat and the flow. Well, probably you say I'm being too harsh. Let's take another example. Listen to his latest English version song, Original. Immediately the intro starts, it sounds so familiar. Sounds like you have almost heard this song from one of his albums before. Now pause. What song comes to your mind? Which song? Correct. You're right. His collabo with one Tanzanian, Rivalry. Similar, all the same. You can do this with most of his other songs. We don't deny the facts. Willy Paul is a massive talent that ever sprout on the Kenyan soil. However, methinks with all the wave and strings of happenings that have been around him ever since the inception of the artist into the musical scene, he is currently at a point where his creativity has reached a point where it can either stagnate and stand still, or worse still, begin to dip downwards in a spiral motion. And there could be only two ways to save his current situation. One is to curate and come up with new controversies to keep him on track, because he's used to that, maybe has experience in that. Or secondly, take a brief, which he currently seems to be doing, and give new life to his career by injecting new tactics to his career, probably by getting new and experienced songwriters, and look into bringing forth a new unique sound to his music, because honestly, it seems his current audience is already tired of his once fiery and inspiring bongo style music. Willy Paul, this is to you. Give your audience something new. Probably it's your newly found English composition. Only make it worth the give and stick to what will work out. If not, the road ahead seems a bit tougher for your survival in the industry.
These videos do really take a long time to make and produce, and really appreciate if you hit the subscribe and the bell icon down there for more of this kind. I'm your guy Mzimu. Till next time, keep safe and hustle hard. Thanks for watching.